It's fine. Whatever. The average viewer isn't MCU nerd obsessed freak like I am that has analyzed every minute of.
I've seen your murder board. Okay.
They have an idea of what they want the action sequences to be, and then they write a movie and a script around the action sequences.
The writer's journey and the story that you're trying to tell is for the characters in the film.
Yes. Fortunately, I'm not a studio executive. What is identity for Spider-Man, for Peter Parker? Is he who he is because of the people that know him?
The truth is, every day you have the moment to choose what you're going to take action on. And I think this is the ultimate thing that Spider-Man indicates to us.
Welcome back to another episode of Real Chumps, where chatting about movies feels like hanging out with friends. I'm your host, Marcel, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Danny.
This week, we're finalizing our discussion on MCU Spider-Man with Spider-Man No Way Home, directed by John Watts and written by Chris McKenna and Eric Sommers, starring Tom Holland, Zendaya, Jacob Batalon, Benedict Cumberbatch, Willem Dafoe, Alfred Molina, Jamie Foxx, Marissa Tomei, and many more.
But before we roll the intro, head over to YouTube where you can join our membership for as little as $2.99. Get access to exclusive videos, member-only polls, and chat rooms where you can interact with other movie lovers.
That's right. And you could also smash the subscribe button for free, as in tacos. And definitely...
Are we giving away tacos to people?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Interesting.
Listen, I would love to give people tacos if they subscribed.
Maybe we'll do a.
Once we get to 100 subscriber party, where we have, or even just
100. We're already past 100.
No, sorry, member only.
Oh, member only.
Then we'll do like a meetup or something. We'll cook tacos or bring tacos.
That'd be fun.
That'd be fun, right? Even if we had like 10, I would do it.
Fun, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, you heard it from Danny.
Making tacos if we get to 10.
Anyway. No, if we get to 100.
Oh yeah.
Come on, dude. Low expectations, this guy.
I just want to hang out with my movie friends, bro. Yeah. So smash the subscribe button if you just see all the cool things that we're doing over there when we publish them. With that being said,
let's roll that intro.
Question of the day. Who is your favorite Spider-Man?
Ooh. Who is my favorite Spider-Man?
I'll even allow animated Spider-Mans.
You know, animated-wise, I've only seen, obviously, the 90s Spider-Man.
Classic.
The Spider-Verse Spider-Man. I don't think I've seen any of the other animated.
Didn't you watch the latest Spider-Man?
There was the latest Spider-Man?
Yeah, it had like a unique, like arty.
Oh, the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah, I never watched that one.
Like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun actually. I totally forgot about it. I did not like the animation. It takes like 2 episodes for you to be like, okay, I'll settle into this.
Okay.
It's not my favorite type of animation.
Story's okay?
The story's actually really good.
Oh, I'll have to watch it.
Yeah, the story's actually really good. But it is jarring. And like, I would watch like 2 episodes and like a week later I'd watch another one and it would yet again take me like a minute or 2 to like adjust into the animation style. I don't like it. Okay. I really like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man.
Okay.
His Peter Parker is too cool.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
I'll allow it.
I think it might just be Tom Holland. Tom Holland, I also really like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. I think his Spider-Man is very quippy, along with Andrew Garfield's, but I think Tom Holland is the best Peter Parker.
Okay. So you like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, Tom Holland Parker.
Yes.
Cool. I am a Jake Johnson.
Okay.
Spider-Man.
From Spider-Man Across
the Universe.
Spider-Verse.
Sorry, in Spider-Verse, yes.
Into the Spider-Verse, okay.
I think he does a great job.
Yeah. Chris Pine, though, as the original.
Yeah, I was going to say this. I was like, I think I would actually really enjoy Chris Pine, but he died, so we don't get his Chris Spider-Man.
But the little bit that we had, I thought he did great.
Me too.
With the voice animation.
Yeah. And I think that I think I would have really enjoyed it, but I don't want to. I can't. I don't feel like it's.
We didn't have enough to.
Yeah. So for me, I do. I will say I agree with you. I think on the live action, I am very much Andrew Garfield. Spider-Man. I really enjoy that Spider-Man, and I think part of it is that there's a lot more. He had a lot of good emotional beats for him, but it's tough because I will say Tom Holland wins me over quite a bit in this movie.
Yeah.
So and so I think that Tom Holland will become Spider-Man. The Spider-Man.
The Spider-Man.
But overall, if I was gonna just have one, I'm probably gonna choose Jake Johnson. I just think he's a fun. He's a Spider-Man that. I really like Jake Johnson. His voice, the everything that he portrays on how they animate him. I think he would have done actually also well in live action.
Interesting.
I think you could have committed to it in gone from there. So, anyways,
good question. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
That one's hard. Which is your favorite costume? Which has the best Spider-Man costume?
I really like the black and red.
Far From Home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't he have a black and red in this one too?
I think he starts out.
He starts out with that, and then he kind of changes. Well, then he has I also really like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man.
From the first movie or the second movie?
I don't remember.
Dude, because let me tell you, I feel like I am the only human that likes the first one,
No, the first one.
Spider-Man costume. I love and for those of you that are watching either on Spotify or on YouTube, I just absolutely love how like slender it is. Here's a picture of it. Take a look at it. I love like the long legs on the spider.
Yeah.
I love the eyes and how it has like almost like a yellowish tint to it. I feel like people didn't like it that much, and then for the second movie they went more for like a traditional Spider-Man costume.
Yeah.
But I really, really like the first Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man.
The Amazing Spider-Man. Yes.
Yeah. Look, there's a comparison between the first one and the second. That's the first one on the left. And the one on the right is from the second movie.
Yeah. No. The first one was yeah. And I think that's part of why I really like. I don't know. There's something about the suit that I really enjoy it. So someone actually brought up another question, which is, shout out to you, Josh Jackson. What are they going to do with Secret Wars? Will Spider-Man be in it? And will we get a Secret Wars costume?
Interesting.
Because that would be great.
As of right now, the Spider-Man movie is coming out before the Avengers movie. Yeah. Okay.
So
good, because I want that new costume that he's wearing, its debut to be in the Spider-Man movie and not in Marvel. Or not in an Avengers movie. Yeah. But Tobey Maguire costume.
Classic.
I think that one's just great. Like, just like the webbing looks so cool. That one's awesome. Tom Holland has had the worst.
I agree. I actually do. I do think he's had the worst, especially 1 and 2. I actually don't. I think this one, he probably has some of the better ones, but even then, just overall, like, I'm excited to just. I mean, that's why I think Sony did the reveal of the suit, and I'm pumped.
Yeah,
it's part of the reason why we did this trilogy is because we watched like the rest of the world wanted to. We just want more Spider-Man.
Just want more Spider-Man. That's what it is.
All right, we're gonna step into this film. Let's just do the movie synopsis. Picking up immediately after the events of Far From Home, Peter Parker's life is thrown into chaos when his identity as Spider-Man is revealed to the world. Desperate for help, he turns to Doctor Strange, whose spell to make everyone forget Peter's secret goes horribly wrong, tearing open the multiverse and bringing villains from other worlds into the MCU. As Peter faces his greatest challenges yet, he must decide what kind of hero and person he truly wants to be.
I talked about this in the first episode, 2 episodes ago. We talked in Homecoming about the deal that Disney and Sony made in order to bring Spider-Man into here.
Let's revisit that
Because in 2019, after the massive success that Far From Home was, okay, it was the first Spider-Man movie to hit $1 billion. Okay, Sony, in traditional Sony behavior, with a chip on their shoulder, came back and said, all right, well, this is it. We're going to bring, and if people might remember this, they said, Tom Holland's coming back to our universe. He's no longer part of the MCU. And people freaked out. People panicked. How is this possible? There's the famous story from Tom Holland about on a late night show about how he drunk dialed Bob Iger and cried to him about how this can't, like, you can't do this.
I remember this.
Yeah. And he, was crying and calling people. Anyway, so that happened. So it was like for a month, maybe less than a month, like Sony said, no, we're keeping him. They got cocky. This is a hit. We're going to keep this character and we're not going to share him with you. Anyway, they come back. Sony comes to their senses and they rework that original contract. So the contract now it continues to leave Marvel Studios as producer or producing these movies. One more movie. Okay, which would be this, No Way Home. Spider-Man would then appear in one more MCU film.
Okay.
And then the financial terms were adjusted. So Disney would then co-finance 25% of the solo film.
Versus
before
Sony brought the whole cost.
And Marvel only kept 5% of the profits. Whereas now they would co-finance 25% of the film and receive 25% of the profits. That's how No Way Home ended up being. Now that contract has technically ended, and we haven't heard much about what now that means moving forward for this new trilogy. Again, it's been by the time that movie comes out, it'll be 5 years since in between. It'll be 5 years.
5 years, dude.
Since we've had a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah,
that's wild. Oh man, I didn't realize. It's crazy because they were
pumping them out every 2.
This one came out 2 years.
Yeah.
And let's actually talk about that because I do think this movie, even though it came out again 4 years ago, is a product of its time.
Yes. Okay. Tell.
But let's talk about our first time watching this. I have a story to say. I have a story to tell about this, and I think you're gonna be mad. But tell me, what was your first time watching this?
I cannot remember off the top of my head who I went and saw this movie with. So I'm sorry if you remember, whoever's listening. But I was so pumped for this film. So pumped.
Yeah.
I just was ecstatic to know that the boys were gonna be back in town. These guys, the Spider-Man that started it, Tobey Maguire. The hope that Andrew Garfield was going to get pulled in. Actually, I can't remember now off the top of my head.
There were so many rumors.
There were so many rumors. There was the speculations. Will they, won't they? Everyone was super, I remember me aggressively thinking, I want Tobey Maguire in here, but I fully believe Andrew Garfield should show up too. This needs to be great. And I just... From the moment it started to the end, I just was floored. Truly some quality storytelling. I had great excitement. I loved all the reveals. I cried for the realization that this was his origin story is now complete.
Yeah.
And it was this trilogy. And I was a dick for not giving it the fair shot it deserved.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful because that they did it this way. And there's just lots of emotions that I just loved it.
Yeah.
So great. Tell me what you're...
Yeah, the anticipation for this movie. Look, this movie was filmed during the pandemic.
During
right?
the pandemic.
It came out in 2021. There was that famous picture of Spider-Man in his costume wearing a mask.
Yeah.
On top of his mask. There were so many rumors about who was going to be in this movie. What was this movie going to be about?
Yes.
Jamie Foxx leaked an image of him as Electro, and then I think the caption was this time I won't be blue, right? And then he was told to take it down. So there was so much
a tight lid. There was a
tight lid. And you kept interviewing Andrew Garfield, and he's like, I am not in it.
Yeah.
my time as Spider-Man is done.
Yeah.
Right? And it was like the worst kept secret in Hollywood at the time. And I watched this in theaters, opening weekend.
I'm pretty sure I did go see opening weekend.
Because I didn't want to be spoiled. Like,
yes.
And I think this was the first movie I went to post, like, during the whole pandemic.
Yeah.
This was the only movie I saw in theaters. And this was, end of 2021. We were slowly coming out of it. Don't hate me, Danny. I rented a movie theater because this is the time when Cinemark, you could rent an entire theater for like $150.
Oh, yeah.
They were doing that special because they were
yeah.
desperate for people.
Yeah.
I rented a theater for $150 and invited like some of the neighbors. And I didn't invite you. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. It's funny it's funny, guys, because I did want to be. I knew that the thing is that you had recently moved in.
Yeah.
You'd recently moved in, and it was
but because of the pandemic,
we didn't really get the chance to have a moment to get to know each other. We'd done dinner once.
Yeah.
But then literally the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And it was like
everyone got isolated.
Yeah, we
right?
got isolated. We didn't need to actually
interact
with each other. I do not hold it against you, bro.
Anyway, so I invited like friends, because now what I do now for Christmas, our family makes arroz con leche, rice pudding, Mexican rice pudding, and we deliver it to the neighbors. So that year I decided to rent out a theater, and we invited some of the friends, family, and people. And it was fun because it was only $150, and I told everyone like, yeah, come. I made like invites. I handed them out.
Nice.
It was
nice.
It was
I'm sad that I wasn't part of the friend
sorry.
group. Why? Dude, it's okay. We were acquaintances that we weren't like fully friends because I remember I was like, man, I'm so bummed that I can't get to know Marcel because I feel like we'd be homies.
And then a few weeks later was when we started this podcast. So. Yeah. The month after.
Was that the real instigator that like I need to have a movie podcast?
That's what it was. So
listen, all I'm gonna say is this: don't let it happen again.
Don't let it happen again. Hey, now we watch movies. Dude, we should watch a movie tonight.
I'm down. If we finish this podcast in time, I'll check movies right now.
But there was so much anticipation. Watched it in a theater with there was 40, 50 of us, if that, and we just had an awesome freaking good time.
I'm sure.
It was fun. This movie I strongly believe that if this movie would come out today, even a year after, it wouldn't be as loved as it was when it came out.
Okay.
We'll talk about it in a second, but I love this movie. I think revisiting it this last time, I have some major issues with it.
Okay.
And I think I have to just remind myself that, like I said, it's a product of its time.
Yeah.
And let's maybe start off with that because, again, the two writers for this movie from the previous one come back, Chris McKenna and what's his name? And Eric Summers.
Yes.
They come back. And this movie at times just feels like it's just stitched together. Okay. And I think that's a combination because the movie, there wasn't a script.
Yeah.
They started filming this movie not knowing if they could get Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire.
Correct.
I think they had so many different ways that they could have gone with this story that they, halfway through shooting, then they finally committed to it and they just kind of stitched up what this movie is. And I think there are times where it feels very much like, and for listeners that maybe don't know, a lot of times, especially these MCU movies, they have an idea of what they want the action sequences to be.
Correct.
They storyboard that. They do
previs, all
that.
Stuff.
And then they write a movie and a script around the action sequences.
Not the way you should.
But
that's how they do it.
And so I think this movie, there are times where it feels like you want to get to point B, and I think point A to point B is just stitched very awkwardly at times. Specifically with with Doctor Strange here.
Okay, because this is what I was gonna ask. Which scenes are you talking about?
I think the whole concept of the box that he has, right?
Yes. Okay.
That just feels like the entire movie. They just said, hold this box. We don't know what it is.
Yes.
We're going to write about it later. That box can be anything.
Yes.
Right? Like on set, that box was
whatever.
We will figure it out later.
Yeah.
Okay. And then but we want to really do this sequence where we're in the, what's that dimension called?
The dimension.
The dimension that Doctor Strange does. But we really want the mirror realm. Yeah. We really want to do a sequence in there. We have the previs for it all. Like, we're going to do it. Just grab that box. It can be whatever. Right. I do also feel like the casting of the spell feels very thought of last minute. Like,
okay.
And this isn't like, it feels off for a character like Doctor Strange to not be able to cast that properly. Mm-hmm. And I just think they didn't know how to get to that point, and they just said, what if he just keeps messing up? What if Tom Holland or Peter Parker, distracts them and he just messes it up? I don't like it. Just feels
okay.
It feels choppy.
Okay. I think I'm with you. I don't think I clocked that feeling necessarily as like this feels choppy. I think my biggest issue was that I'm like, why other than Doctor Strange being Doctor Strange and doing the magic portion, it's like that portion and then the end. Mm-hmm. And then again the sequence of Doctor Strange and Spider-Man in the mirror realm in a fight. But the rest of it, back to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I think because I didn't have this because I was caught up again yet again with the nostalgia and the love of it and the product of the time. Don't disagree. I think that even they couldn't afford Cumberbatch for everything or for like a couple other sequences or acting moments. They needed him specifically for those moments, and they were going to figure out what they're going to do.
Yes.
And for it to be set up for Multiverse of Madness.
And at this point, Multiverse of Madness was supposed to release before this one. But then it got delayed. They pushed it out.
Yes.
And then this came out first. Also, there are times, obviously, this movie I feel like was filmed in a closet half the time. Like,
yeah,
there are and a lot of times most of the cast isn't even in the same room.
Yeah. It feels
again stitched together.
Yeah.
There are times where like the three Spider-Men.
Yeah.
We're just like looking at one, and you know that one of them is just acting to nothing.
Yeah.
It's very rare where all three are in one shot.
But even with this said, I think that they did. It is a miracle that is as good as it is for what they had to do to put this film together.
Yes. But I'm noticing these things now. Because the first time I watched it, it's COVID time. I need to get out. Oh, it's hitting me right where it needs to hit. I'm loving all the nostalgia to it. Again, this movie comes out a year later.
Misses the mark.
We as an audience would have destroyed it. I genuinely think I love this movie because of the memory I have of it and the nostalgia and bringing back these beloved characters, right?
Doctor Strange, the feeling of it, the fact that like they had to shoot during COVID, so most of them probably either if they're filming, they had to like be much farther away than they did, so they had to be blue screened or whatever, so they can piece them into the scene that they could.
Yeah.
Is that all of it, or is it just the entirety of the film having to be stitched together due to the scenario,
due to the circumstances of the pandemic, due to the fact that they didn't have a script ready, due to the fact that they weren't sure if they could get Tom Holland and Maguire back.
Garfield. What Maguire?
Tobey Maguire. Oh yeah. Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire back.
And Willem Dafoe. No, Willem Dafoe was slotted.
I think they had them slotted. I think most of them, from what I remember. Yes, but you also have like Lizard, who spends half the movie inside a van.
Yeah.
in a van.
In a van, you're right.
And like, they clearly didn't know what to do with him. And they're like, and they didn't get, Riz.
Damn it, Marcel.
They didn't get the actor to come. So that's why he's as Lizard the entire time. The same with Sandman, right? He did all voiceover.
Yeah.
And the one scene at the very end where like he becomes
himself, like, a human.
That's from the third movie. That's just the shot from the third movie. So like, it feels like, okay, yeah, you couldn't get everyone. Movie magic, right? And maybe look, it sounds like I'm dogging on this movie.
Yeah, it does, Marcel.
But I love it. It's a great time. I cry every single time I watch this.
Dude, me too. Okay.
I love it. I enjoy it. The lighting is horrible at times in this movie.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely true. Here's the thing. I think, but the thing, if it was a different time, if it had been released later, they would have reshot a lot of it. They probably would have lost some of the moments in the magic or whatever, because they would have gotten in their heads and they would have screwed it up. So it probably would have still sucked. Mm-hmm. But hypothetically speaking, if they had been able to do everything they did, it would have been a lot more fluid, a lot punchier, and probably even more emotionally impactful.
Yes. But I do love this movie.
Dude, this movie, it hits.
Why? What about this movie works for you? Even though with all the criticisms that I have, that I pointed out, things that you probably didn't even think of that I just ruined for you.
No. The stitching one, I think I let it be because I knew of the there.
Yeah.
But Doctor Strange one, I think I fully agree with. It just having to be part of the fight because Doctor Strange puts it in a box and they're like, this is what he needs to find, or that's how he traps him in the mirror realm. Like, I remember thinking when I watched it this time, I was like, I wish there was just a little bit more Doctor Strange, because I kind of like the dynamic with Benedict Cumberbatch and Tom Holland, Peter Parker and Spider-Man, because they have respect for one another, but also like they want to. He recognizes him as like an equal, to a degree, but he also realizing that he's still a kid.
Yeah.
Like the whole, I actually think that the spell thing, I think it's that, not that he messes up, but it's that he's realizing that this kid is unsure. And because of the uncertainty, magic has the consequences of it. And so like that, so I don't think that, but like the rest of it and how he doesn't show up and he's not there and like, because like of course he would be able to get out of the freaking mirror realm.
Yeah, of course.
Way sooner than when he does. Okay, come on. Even though he's not on a technicality, not the Sorcerer Supreme. Mm-hmm. Come on.
Yeah, no, but I love this movie. What is it that works for you? Though?
Yes.
Go back to that.
Sorry, yeah. What works? One, the fact that we realized that this is his origin story. That all three films lead to this moment, and that it is the Goblin of our initial Spider-Man as the people that this pinnacle time was, that we fell in love with. That some people fell in love with Spider-Man for the first time ever. That this is who it was. That it was Willem Dafoe's maniacal and gruesome goblin to wreak havoc and on this Peter Parker from and his identity of realizing that there was more to do as a human being with blessed powers.
Yeah.
And then I think I also despite the thing, I also really like that, like Doctor Strange, there is magic that it opens up, that it's still part of this cinematic world. Again, the writings and the consequences of the pandemic sucks because Ned and MJ, and I think honestly some of the other cast members, we lose them, and I think that's a little bit of a tragedy, because we fall in love and we like have grown to like want them, this, especially with the fact that like, you know, to some people this is their, like, I remember graduating high school and watching Toy Story 3 and being Andy, like I'm leaving to college. That there's a generation of kids that film is the year that they were graduating, like they were leaving, they were trying to wait for their acceptance letter. That will be impactful for them.
Yeah.
And they'll always come back and say, oh, I have responsibility now. I am the master of my own story, and I have to be responsible for that. So, and then finally, just the fact that you, like, I appreciate that you gave respect to these Spider-Man that they both got screwed over because of studio execs being dumb, but that we've all loved them. But many of us loved these characters, and that they had a moment. It sucks that it had to be during the pandemic, but that just the emotional arc, the deepness, and I really appreciate that these Spider-Men are there to help him, because there was no Uncle Ben that we know of.
Well, I mean, look, for a hardcore MCU fanatic like me,
yes,
there is the comment in
it's true
in Civil War when Tony Stark first meets Peter Parker, and he's in his room, and he's like, "Why do you do this kind of stuff?" And then it's strongly hinted,
yes,
that he didn't do something when he should have done.
Yes.
Right? And there's been consequences, and it hints at Uncle Ben, right?
Right.
It's fine. Whatever. The average viewer isn't a MCU nerd-obsessed freak like I am that has analyzed every minute of
I've seen
all
your
of these
murder board,
movies.
okay?
Yeah, you have.
It's just madness.
No, it's true story. When was it Endgame? I think it was Endgame. When Endgame was about to come out,
Yeah.
or one of the movies, I did a PowerPoint presentation at work. Okay, I took resources and time from work, and I did this like 15. No, it was longer. It was like a 20 slide deck presentation on the MCU. And I did it because I had coworkers that hadn't seen them all, but there was so much hype around Endgame.
You had to like give them the understanding.
So I gave them the understanding, dude. It's one of my best works ever.
Okay, I must.
I think I still have it, and I presented it to my coworkers, and they're like, "Oh, this all makes sense." Anyway, but I'm too I have plotted everything and how everything connects. So yeah, it was hinted that Uncle Ben died, obviously, and Peter Parker learned something from it. But because we didn't see it, and I think they took a wonderful liberty to say, how can we really summarize this trilogy and give that payoff that Spider-Man / Peter Parker deserves with that understanding of what it means to be a superpowered individual, and not just that, but also a human, and what you can do both as Peter and as Spider-Man, and the role of responsibility. And so it's great stuff. But it was hinted. I'm just saying that.
Yes. Agreed.
Does the nostalgia work for you then? Does it distract? Does it? Because here's the thing. Watching it this time, this movie works so much better if you watch it with a crowd in theaters, because there are times where Andrew Garfield comes onto screen and it's like the movie pauses for you to clap.
Yes. Yes.
And I think, and watching it by myself at 11 at night, I was like, yeah, cool. I'm like, oh, no. That's noticeable. They really wanted you to clap in theaters for this.
You're not wrong.
But why does it work? And you talk a little bit about the payoffs, right? But is it fair in this time? And I'm just playing devil's advocate. Is it fair for us as viewers to rely on this nostalgia? Should writers of that have talking about responsibility, you have this great power of writing these movies. What responsibility do you take as a studio, as a writer of franchises? And I'm talking in general. It could be Star Wars, it could be Star Trek.
Yes.
Whatever. Blank, okay? On relying so much on the nostalgia of these characters versus paving a new road.
This is wonderful question that this film poses, because in this scenario, you want this nostalgia, but you look at a franchise like Star Wars, and it almost comes at a detriment. Okay, this because like you want the nostalgia, but you need new characters, you need new stories. Otherwise, you're just you fall into the pitfall of trying to tell the same story that has happened, so you can keep the loyalists or whatever, the nostalgia alive for these individuals. As a filmmaker, as a storyteller, you're here to tell stories. You should never use nostalgia as the main goal, as the thing. But if you can bring a moment of nostalgia, I think Stranger Things, another stories that leveraged nostalgia and leveraged a time period in an era that many found themselves in. And so if you're going to use it, you must, it comes with great power or a great responsibility because of the power that it holds. And so the question then comes, did they do a good job of nostalgia here?
Yeah. I love that you say that because, and let's just use Star Wars again. The last movie, The Rise of Skywalker.
Yes.
Is that it? Yeah. That was just a horrible flop of nostalgia, right? They bring back
Palpatine. They basically just throw out any sort of where they wanted to go. There's a script out there of like a whole different, due to the falling out of Rian Johnson. And people not being okay with something being different.
Yes. And what works with The Last Jedi, whether you like it or not, I hope we can put aside our differences and just say, like, the use of Luke Skywalker in that movie is to challenge Rey and her beliefs and extravagant expectations of the Jedi.
Yes.
And again, basic character writing is what can you do? How can you write situations that challenge your protagonist to grow, right? And that's why the leveraging of Luke works in that movie. Whether you like how he was written or not, it doesn't matter because that was the purpose of using nostalgia in that movie, right? You see that here again. You're leveraging nostalgia to put your protagonist on a path that hopefully challenges him and makes him grow, right? And to your point, you shouldn't use nostalgia to just pay off your loyal group of fans, which is what we saw in Rise of Skywalker. We bring Leia back to train as we have that flashback of her training as a Jedi. Everyone wanted that, or her training Rey, bringing back Palpatine. What was the purpose? It's not so much that it's challenging Rey in that essence. It was assigned to just appease the fans, right?
You do a wonderful job at noting this in your review of Happy Gilmore 2. Mm-hmm. They completely shoot themselves in. They cut their legs out because they felt like they needed to showcase nostalgia and give people context they didn't need. Yes. Like they ruin it because they felt that the audience wasn't going to have it enough. Yeah. So when you take this tool, this storytelling tool, you must really understand what is the purpose. Yes. And I think something you said that I think I really want to reemphasize is the fact that, like, it does not matter what we really wanted. If we are here to develop new characters for a story. Whether you wanted Luke Skywalker to be something different or not is not the writer. Like, the writer's journey and the story that you're trying to tell is for the characters in the film. Yes. And I think we have I almost want to say coddle too many fans and too many lovers of stories that we are not that filmmakers, that storytellers, that audience members are not being told or not being being shook and then studios execs not having the balls enough to just write it out and say, no, this is the story that needed to be told. You will like it later.
Mm-hmm. This is not where I was expecting this conversation to go, but I think it's necessary because we live in such a...
Listen, Yes, go. Sorry.
No. We live at a time where studio execs are just looking for whatever IP they have that they own and say, how can we leverage nostalgia to drive people to the theaters to watch our movies, right? Whether it's a big franchise or whatever. I mean, we talked just now about Happy Gilmore. Naked Gun came out this summer, right? And how well it uses... It nods to the previous franchise, but also pivots the characters into a new environment. It's wonderful. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But it's interesting that this movie does this, right? But it works, and it positions this Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man, MCU Spider-Man, on a trajectory of. Is your origin story going to make you or break you? Right?
Yes.
And I think by doing that, by leveraging that and changing it, challenging your character, it pays off and you have the nostalgia there to support the overall message and not to detract from what you're trying to accomplish.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you. I remember watching it in theaters and hearing the moment and thinking, "There's no way." And this movie is a movie that you almost have to have watch parties with.
I
You almost just got to be like, you know what, homies, come to la casa, vamos a comer tacos, vamos a tener un pico de dulces, de pastelitos, lo que sea, and we're just gonna have a good time, and we're gonna watch this together because. I want to watch this, and I want to watch it with my homies that just want to feel something again and be like, ah! Because if you watch this alone, that moment, although it's still powerful, there is a moment, it's not as powerful because you're not all feeling it.
Yeah.
As an individual. Because they did experience this. It was written for, theater.
Yeah.
And I think this is, it's both a blessing and a curse. Because, you're like, it is magical, but it requires the big screen. Mm-hmm. Is it any less because of that? No, maybe a little. I think I'm still trying to weigh what that means. It is what I appreciate of this is that Peter is challenged himself. He's already dealt with a lot of loss to some degree. Okay. Hinted at, like you said, maybe Ben did something he should have done. Mm-hmm. We have, him connecting to Tony wanting to mentor him, losing Tony trying to help out and having the emotional thing there. Having to grapple with what it means after the fact and still grappling with that in this film, right? So, and I think that's something that I really appreciate that this happens directly after the events of the second film. Mm-hmm. It leads, he thinks he's found some footing and is yet fully ripped. And I think what I really appreciate is that they took the liberty to change things up for us. So, for me, the question is like, why are we okay as a group of cult people who love the comics or whatever to have Spider-Man's origin story to be completely changed, and yet we can't accept some other of these IPs to have something slightly different. And we have to have shows, and I hate to say it, but I'm looking at you, Star Wars, And not only Star Wars for as fans, but the studios not willing enough to risk it.
Look, I fortunately, I'm not a studio executive.
Guys, Marcel is open. Please.
And so I don't know the pressure of having to go to the studio and be like, look, I need you to give me that $250 million, and I'm going to do something that you may not like, but I have a vision for it, right? At the end of the day, this is a business. Like, and I've said it a million times. Like, it's a business. Like, studios are they're going to take into consideration what's best for their investment.
Yep.
Right. So I get it, but I think it does come back to like the story and what is it that you're trying to tell here, and I think, and again going back to Star Wars, the problem with the sequel trilogy is that there was no one at the helm to say, what is the story that we're going to say here, right? Rather, it was JJ, I'm telling one story here. Ryan Johnson, I'm telling another story here. And I, originally, Colin Trevorrow, I'm telling another story here, right? When it's, I'm not saying that you should have had one person write all of them. No, rather, know what your end is from the beginning, communicate that out to your writers, and play it out, right? And I think maybe I've shared this, but James Cameron recently has talked about this, that several years ago, when he committed to do the 5 Avatar movies, he sat down his writers and he said, what are we going to, like, how is this going to end? And everyone pitched their ideas. Everyone had this thought. And over a period of months, he eventually figured it out. And then he broke out his writers and said, okay, you two are going to write the second one. You two are going to write the third, and so on and so forth, right? Or however many it was. But like, there was an overarching story that they're going to get to, and now you let your writers write out a story that supports the overall theme. And I think now I'm not going to give the writers of the Spider-Man movies that much credit, because they were clearly writing out this day of as they were shooting at times, right?
Yeah.
But they at least knew what they wanted to get to. At least at the beginning of this movie, they knew that they wanted to give him some kind of origin element to it all, right? And they were able to write it back and tie it all together. But I think the nostalgia works. I think for me, bringing back these characters and giving them some kind of payoff to elements that we couldn't see because their films were canceled is also just a beautiful nod to the fans. It works.
For sure. I have to say, I think this is actually a film that is a good example of where if you can write a story, and I'm not saying it's always going to be well received, but like this was done well, and there was it's like so hard because like they prepped this with 2 other films. So we think about this film and it's like this was, we needed this or whatever, but like they prepped to a degree, not necessarily prepped because these guys were doing it by the seat of their pants, but they had some level of story acumen and understanding of the character and of the universe that they built upon, and they lead us to this moment. Because of that, because they had done this in the first film, or even portion of the origin story in the first film, you're not gonna get it. You're gonna piss off people.
Yeah.
Okay. And so there's this level of this understanding, I guess. I don't know. I'm not quite sure, but that we now have we're gonna have a new trilogy that will be a Spider-Man that we know.
Mm-hmm.
In a time that we're uncertain of in the rest of his world.
Yeah, and it's also it it positions him for it allows us as viewers to view Spider-Man also in a way that we haven't, right?
Yeah.
Cinematically.
Yes.
Because cinematically, he's always been, for the most part, stuck in high school.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2 puts him in college, as well as Spider-Man 3, the Sam Raimi ones. But we never get to explore more of that, right?
Right.
And so I'm excited for this new trilogy to come out. But
very pumped.
Let's talk about a little bit about.
Okay, guys. We're so sorry. This is gonna be a very long one. Okay, maybe not very long. Maybe very long. I don't know.
It'll be long, I'm sure. But feel free to take breaks. I want to talk a little bit about some of the themes here.
Okay.
Because I think this movie explores a lot, and maybe we can even tie back to the overall arching themes of this trilogy. Identity. I want to talk a little bit about identity, and I wrote this down in our notes, but who is Peter Parker without those who know him, right? Because the movie really focuses on him, and the inciting incident here is that he doesn't want people to forget who he is, right? Whether that's selfish or whether that's just a high schooler. Finally, he has that line of the happiest moment of the past couple of years has been this week of us dating. He tells MJ, where you finally knew what was happening before all the chaos of everyone knowing who I was, right? But what does it mean? What is identity for Spider-Man, for Peter Parker? Is he who he is because of the people that know him? And we talked a little bit about this in Homecoming, right? That if you're nothing, if you're not,
if you're only someone
if you're
because
nothing without the suit, then you don't
deserve it,
right?
Yeah, I think so.
Again, that identity of Spider-Man. What is this movie? And we can talk about the trilogy, but what is this movie / trilogy telling us about identity and choice? Because choice is often is an aspect of all these three movies.
Well, I mean, you look. What is the first thing that most people do when they interact with a new adult? So what do you do for work?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We, in American culture, maybe culture around the world, this idea that you are the thing that you do. But is that the truth? No. Most people are not the thing that they do. Because most people hate what they do. Prove me wrong. Tell me. The reality is most individuals across the world wish they were doing something differently.
Sure.
And so, but they have to to some level, whether that be with a degree or not, they have to wrestle with this idea. Then they feel I want to be more, but they feel despair because they feel like there's no hope for them to get there. Then you have people who are doing something with their life, but they feel like they had to rob themselves of their dreams in order to do that thing. Spider-Man, this Peter Parker specifically, I think he wrestles with this crisis. He wrestled it in the first one. He battles it out again in the second one. And in this one, he's actually having to face it and really say to himself, who is he going to be?
Yeah.
We've always had a Spider-Man in comics and other scenarios where he does have to face that much sooner.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in a lot of situations, you would think that every single moment that he's had previous to this point would have helped him make this easier, but it doesn't, right? Yeah. And I think the reality is in our lives, we are the idea of identity and choice is very important here. Often, my youngest, not my youngest, because I have a younger one now. My second, she has started to really struggle with not having enough time. She wants to do all the things.
Okay.
And I had to talk to her about, you get to choose what you think about now. What is you don't have control over what happened yesterday. It's already done. You know what might be coming in 2 days because we're going to go on a trip. But, that could really change. You are here now. Be here now and enjoy this moment and have that thing. The other side of this is that, so many people think my choices are made up and now this is what I am. But that's not the truth. The truth is, every day you have the moment to choose what you're going to take action on. And I think this is the ultimate thing that Spider-Man indicates to us.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, look, the Spider-Man movies, especially now,
Canonically?
Canonically. that is right.
That's correct, I think.
Yeah.
Canonically.
Sorry, guys. It's late and I'm Mexican.
Está bien, mijo.
Canonically, Spider-Man, and we're told this, even in the Spider-Verse movies, there is that inciting element. Oh, what do they call it in those movies? I forget. A canon moment. No.
Yeah. Canon moment or something
like that. Anyways, that every Spider-Man has to go through. So there's this element of fate, destiny, right? Mm. And I love that Strange, he's sending them back, and what's his face? Peter says, no, if we send them back, they're going to die. We can't send them back. And he says the line well, that's their fate.
Yes.
We cannot change, the multiverse that we know very little of. That's their fate. And so the movie naturally proposes the question: what is choice? What is choice versus what is fate? And does our choices lead us to our fate, or are there things that are and I just think it's interesting because this movie, just the mythology of Spider-Man is that he is destined for heartbreak.
Yes.
But the movie does something wonderful, and that's it gives our character the opportunity of agency, of choice, right? To then decide that he's going to help these villains before he sends them back. So that way we change their fate, we change their destiny, and hopefully help them as they return to their universe.
Right.
But then that also is then juxtaposed with him having to then choose what he's going to do now that Aunt May has passed.
Correct.
And I just love this conflict for the character, that he, at first, this theme of choice, of choosing to help others. When you help one person, what does her tombstone say? When you help one person, you help everyone, or something like that?
Yeah.
Right? When you choose to help, by choosing to help these individuals, and what's his face? Green Goblin even says, you were the one that your choice to help is what actually killed her, right? Mm. And so I love that the movie then poses these themes of choices, of agency, and what it is that we can do. Do we, again, because we have great power comes great responsibility. Are we then going to choose to do good? Are we then going to choose bad, right? And you juxtapose that with this conflict that Peter is going through, and it works really well because then it puts him on this path to then have to choose at the end whether he is going to kill Green Goblin. And I think that's the biggest issue that I have, is that I would have loved for him to have then made the choice to not, because he was going to do it, and it's Tobey Maguire that stops him.
Yeah.
And I think maybe I'm still processing that. What's the implications of that? If Tobey hadn't stopped him, would he have then made the choice to kill Green Goblin?
Yeah.
And I think that kind of robs Peter Parker from making that choice to not do it. Mm. But then at the same time, it also kind of does a payoff to Tobey Maguire of him choosing to then save Green Goblin when he wasn't able to do it in his own timeline. I don't know. It
gets muddy here.
It gets muddy.
Yeah. But I think what it comes down to, right, is that, and ultimately is that this what choice is there. Your choices, you make a choice. There will be a consequence, whether that be good or bad. And I think that this film does a wonderful job of trying to help, as individuals who, if you're looking for something who might be struggling, to help maybe take you a moment and ask yourself, what responsibility do I want to take hold of? Right. And I think that Spider-Man always had some level of that, but like they do such a phenomenal job of like taking us on a journey on the first two films and plopping us here and then finishing out the film with him trying to do what he thinks is the right thing to do. Because, I mean, you could have had them, these other Spider-Man, like, listen, I had to go through this. You have to go through this. They could have played the Miles, you look at the Miles Morales, Across the Spider-Verse. I always forget which one is first. Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, first one is Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, so Across the Spider-Verse of him struggling.
Yeah.
To understand. Mm-hmm. That's happened, right? And so they have to then chase him in the wonderful scene. But this struggle, this conflict is real. Like if many people may have a struggle to they have to make a hard choice in your life. Maybe that's, it could be as simple as trying to decide on what college you're going to go to. But it could also be the big struggle of you have a aging parent and that is dealing with dementia, and how long do you try to help them?
Yeah.
Right? What is your responsibility in a moment like that? There's lots of things that people have to make these hard decisions that you may feel like you change who you are because of that decision. So I don't know. It is one of the core foundational things of why I think the Spider-Man is always, if you can understand this theme, can truly change your life.
Sure. And obviously here and in all Spider-Man movies, there's the overall theme of responsibility and sacrifice.
Yeah.
Right. And with the saying alone, with great power comes great responsibility. It evokes that therefore there has to be sacrifice.
Yeah.
Because you have to be responsible. Because you have power, you must sacrifice certain things to be responsible.
So then I ask to you, who is Peter Parker without those who know him?
This is what I want, hopefully, in this new trilogy to be explored. I really hope that they don't, in the next movie, they don't do some spell or whatever or multiverse thing and it's everyone remembers now or Zendaya or MJ remembers. I hope we really get to sit with this idea of now Spider-Man having to find himself again. Peter Parker having to find himself again as Spider-Man. I think, who is Peter Parker without those who know him? This is interesting because, as of right now, really, in the MCU, he is the only one with a secret identity.
Yeah, at least,
right?
That we know of, right? Most of them, other ones, they have some kind of they're known.
They're known. I think for me, Spider-Man is that your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and Peter Parker and Spider-Man have that opportunity or privilege to for him to play these two parts, that he is going to struggle as Peter Parker in his personal life, whether with whoever that may be or whatever may be happening in his life, but he will also struggle as Spider-Man with his heroic life in fighting villains, in trying to always do what's right. And therefore this theme of responsibility and sacrifice of who he is, of identity, will always have there will always be two sides to it, because he will have those responsibilities as Peter Parker, and he will have to do sacrifices as Peter Parker, but also as Spider-Man.
Well, and I think that, like, I hope, again, this is one of those things where, like, it's tough because now, you know, like, he's still part of the cinematic universe, so, like, these characters can play, and he, you know, into him doing his thing as Spider-Man, and him knowing who these individuals are, and how do you make that relationship, right? And it'll be interesting, very interesting, and I hope that we get some good things.
Yeah. Let's talk Aunt May, Marissa Tomei, because we were offline. We were talking about how much we love Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, yes. I recently watched her in The Rewrite with Hugh Grant. Pretty cute movie. It's failed he's a scriptwriter who has a one hit film, and then he kind of has flops, and then he ends up taking a job because no one was hiring him at a college university to teach screenwriting.
This is with Hugh Grant, you said?
With Hugh Grant.
Is this not the same story plot for About a Boy, where with Nicholas Hoult, where he wrote a one hit wonder?
Maybe. Well, but this Hugh Grant comes in as a professor, ends up sleeping with a college student before coming into his class, and then ends up having her in his class, and continues to have a sexual relationship with her, and then falls in love with Marissa Tomei, and yada yada yada.
Okay.
It's kind of a fun, but Marissa Tomei, phenomenal in it, and I'm just like, I need more Marissa Tomei films, and I might have to do because you went on a Ryan Gosling.
I went on
run.
Jake
Gyllenhaal. Did you watch Southpaw too?
No, I didn't.
I like Southpaw.
I need to revisit Southpaw
because you love boxing films.
I do love boxing films. I need to come back to that one.
Anyways, but yeah, Marissa Tomei.
It's interesting that the whole trilogy, the trilogy's origin element payoff lays on her.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we get so little of her in the other two movies, right?
Yes.
And even like thinking like, what other like intimate, emotionally intimate moments do we have between Aunt May and Peter Parker? And I don't think we do. I think there's the one in I don't think we get. The second one, we don't.
Well, we get her finding out that he's Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
In the first one, or is it the second one?
In the first one. At the very end.
Yeah, at the very end,
right?
No, okay. And then in the second one,
I think there's that moment in the first one where he's lost the suit and he comes back home just wearing like a shirt and he's crying, and and she like comforts him, but like that's really it. And so it's not a criticism, just pointing it out that like they chose to then have her deliver this line, this iconic, beautiful moment. I love her delivery of it. Yeah. I know they changed it a little bit from with great power comes great responsibility to with great power there must also come great responsibility.
Agreed.
But let me tell you, I cry every time.
Every time.
I cry. And in last episode, we talked about, Tom Holland's great emotional acting ability. Mm-hmm. But here,
it wrecks you.
It wrecks me. And the first time I watched it, I was not expecting it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was not expecting her to deliver the line, nor was I expecting her to. I mean, when she gets hit, right? I was like, oh, there's no way she survives that. But then she like gets up. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right, interesting. And then she like falls and just he comforts her. Oh, I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. He comforts her and he tells her like, just catch your breath. You're okay.
Yeah.
And then like
she dies.
She dies.
And then
now he's this.
He's alone.
He's alone, and not just that, but then like he can't even like he has to escape because then SWAT shows up and whatnot. I love the emotional weight of that. Because, and we've talked about this with action movies, that there's nothing better for me when we have this massive action sequence, and then we then tone it down with something emotional. We talked about this in Extraction. Again, Extraction 1 and Extraction 2 do this really well, where we have these 20-minute one-shots, and then full of adrenaline, and then we tone it down with him talking to the kid, or with, well, in both movies, talking with the two kids about their roles and what they're trying to do, and we have those character development moments, right? We do that here, where it's just, we have this massive fight sequence with Green Goblin, and then we just bring it down with a heartbreaking, emotional delivery from Marissa Tomei, and just getting that wonderful line. It just works so well.
I truly appreciate it. And it's not just because I know you brought up the fact that like we don't get a lot of her, but I think that what we do get isn't. I mean, we get a moment of her saying, like, dropping Ned and Peter off at the party, and these are just, she's an aunt that is involved, but she respects his independence.
Yeah.
And I mean, she gives a line, "I know that you're sneaking out at night." I know that, like, she's aware of him and she wants to be there. And there's a level of me that I want more of her because it's Marissa Tomei, and it's because it would build that. But there's a level that also is like, he knew that he could always have her. Mm-hmm. And the fact that she is his canon moment is shattering.
Yeah.
There's a level of that, like, you know, like Peter Parker as Spider-Man is always for a majority of him trying to figure things out is alone. And it's
alone because he doesn't want to share his identity, right? So he has to carry this burden of being Spider-Man, or alone because he's just a kid in New York, whatever that may be. But yeah, go on.
No, yeah. And so with this, like, I just, and not only that, but I really appreciate Willem Dafoe's reprisal, that they write him so well. And more importantly, that Willem Dafoe knows what he needs to be. You know, you could not have this moment without the evil of Green Goblin.
Willem Dafoe, man.
I'm so mad that did he get nominated for an Oscar at all? No,
for this?
Yeah,
no.
Dude, but
he
deserves so much for this.
He's always, I mean, in anything, he's wonderful. Did you get around to seeing Nosferatu?
I've not watched it yet. No. I think I'm actually gonna watch it during, not part as a film for Christmas, but I think I'm gonna watch it during October.
He's great there. I loved him in the Lighthouse with what's his face, with Batman, Robert Pattinson. Oh my gosh, he is just crazy.
Willem Dafoe
is just wonderful. But like, he does something with the cadence of how he talks, right?
Yes.
And how he elevates his voice when he is Norman Osborn to then, like, it's not Christian Bale and Batman, right? Where right? He like brings this wonderful like tang or like pitch to it when he's overcome by the persona of Green Goblin.
Yeah.
That is just menacing, is scary, and he's mastered that character, in the last 20 years. And it's just wonderful to see him back in it and hear the physicality that his stunt double brings. And I got into an argument a couple of years ago on this on social media, and I'm not very active on social.
No.
And so like someone was saying like, you would be the perfect Joker. And I'm like, nah, the guy's too old to be Joker. And it's like, well, did you see him in...
Yeah, his stunt double?
Yeah, I saw his stunt double, okay? Like, they very eloquently cut away from him during those fight scenes or the camera is
super far
away, so you don't see the face.
And they do CG to help mask it. Yeah.
Anyway, freaking guy on social media. Gosh.
You gave him a real piece of your mind.
But he's great in that. And just the menace that he is so wonderful to see him again in this role. I always felt like they should not have killed him off in the first movie.
Oh, absolutely. I hope that they bring a goblin.
Yeah, but then how... From a story perspective, then, if there's ever a Norman Osborn...
I don't think you need to do a Norman Osborn. I think you could... Listen...
I mean, yeah, sure, you can do like a hobgoblin or some other type of goblin.
Yeah. But what I'm saying, and I think that the thing is that we can still have. I mean, they've done Mysterio, they've done the Vulture. Like I hope they can continue this record. But they brought these villains back from this other era. I still think they could bring some of these characters back in a new and fresh way.
Sure.
That we can fully enjoy.
All I'm saying is that if you introduce Norman Osborn,
yeah. He knows.
Then he knows, I fought a Norman Osborn before. This guy's going to be crazy, right?
Yeah.
But he's just great. He's wonderful. I love seeing him. Which of these characters that are brought back do you enjoy the most?
Otto Octavius. Even though I don't get enough of him.
Alfred Molina, man.
But Alfred, dude, the moment he came back on screen, I was just like, I didn't know I wanted this. But I so did. And Alfred Molina, Spider-Man 2 has a very special place in my heart.
Uh-huh.
There's something about that film, Sam Raimi and Tobey Maguire locks in. And I think ultimately it comes down to the fact that when you have a strong villain, that strong antagonist really solidifies your hero story.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have protagonists and antagonists. You have to have these characters in films in there. But when you're doing a superhero film, that villain truly needs to bring it all.
Yeah.
You have your gripes with Lex Luthor, but despite those gripes, for me personally, I like Lex Luthor in the new Superman. But he's a menace to Superman.
Yeah.
Rex, after this year, he has his first loss.
Yes.
Because of Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Right. Anyways, ultimately, you need that really strong perspective. And what I like about these Spider-Man films that we've watched is that each one of them, they gave him, there was a feeling of dread, of fear, or of like, can I do this? And having to overcome that, despite doing everything that he as Spider-Man has done up until these points. And I think I just really appreciate that. Like, let's have these action scenes, but can we bring our character low again? How do we rebuild them up?
Yeah. I want to pivot a little bit because we haven't talked a lot. We haven't talked enough about Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire. It works. Yes, I think we've established that it works. Except for like the pauses that they have for people to clap when they arrive. I love the line of Tobey Maguire looking like a youth pastor.
Yeah, me too.
I
also like you don't have web shooters? Wait, you never had like a web block? Oh yeah, like one time.
The one time. My biggest issue with them is that I feel like they would have given us like they only talk about so who else have you fought, and they only mention the characters, the villains that we've seen.
Yeah.
Like I would have loved for, I don't know.
Well, we had Garfield say the Rhino.
Yeah, we saw that at the end of the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh, got it.
Right?
I see what you're saying. Sorry, I was, yeah.
Like, you're telling me that in your 20-year history of crime fighting,
You haven't fought
your highlights are the 3 villains that we saw. That's it,
That's their whole timeline, bro.
Yeah. But I think that's just a little tiny gripe I have with it. Andrew Garfield and MJ, when he saves her, that's the other moment that I cry.
Yeah.
I think I cry more there than I do with Marissa Tomei.
It's a very impactful moment.
And it's impactful because, like, if you have the history with the character,
yes,
I think, like, when I watched it, my wife had seen them, and I'm like, and, unfortunately, I was that mansplaining meme over I lean over to her. I'm like, oh, did you get that? Because that's he wasn't able to save Gwen, but he was able to save MJ, and like he has a bit of a redemption moment, right? I love it. I hate when I mansplain things to my wife.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that moment. It hits me every time because Andrew Garfield obviously is just an incredible actor. And he delivers so much with his eyes and his facial expressions as he's holding MJ, and you just know, like, he wasn't able to save Gwen, but he's glad to have been able to save MJ here.
I also think there's a level of, like, him just being able to come back to be Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that it's, like, it was not just, like, a moment of acting, but a moment of, like, true reality of, like...
Yeah.
I thought this was gonna be ripped away. It was ripped away from me, and I didn't get to participate again. And I'm here, and I get to have my Parker moment.
Yeah,
and I think it's beautiful.
I think there's this theme of redemption in this movie, right? He gets that redemption there of saving MJ, obviously redeeming these villains that Tom Holland, Peter Parker wants to redeem them. I love that we are hinted that he's gone down this dark path and stopped holding back his punches, and
right,
we're teased about that a little bit, and I just love the idea of Andrew Garfield Spider-Man somewhere out there just like beating the crap out of his villains, going all Batman on them. It's fun to me. And then just Tobey Maguire just kind of being Tobey Maguire, Peter Parker.
Tobey Maguire, dude. I also really enjoy, like, I enjoy that Spider-Man, they struggle to be like to be a team, because they are Spider-Man. Like, they don't have, you guys don't have the Avengers?
Is that a band?
I love that little moment. It's just it's beautiful because, like, those Spider-Man, they didn't have, they had to do everything. They had to be everywhere.
Yeah.
There was way more pressure to a degree, right? To have to do everything right. And I really appreciate that moment because there's a level of, like, giving them the moment that, oh, they aren't alone.
Yeah.
Even though they have this realization a little bit earlier of, like, oh, like, being able to, like, talk through spider stuff, but, like, having that moment to realize that, oh, we got to figure this out.
Yeah.
And it's just like a small thing, but I really appreciate it.
They do a great job at, like, maintaining who these characters are from their original films and bringing them here. Like, their tone, the way their mannerisms, they continue to build that, and from the script, works really great. Favorite moment, favorite scene.
Honestly, I think it might have to be. I think it has to be Peter Parker on the bridge and Molina showing up as Doc Ock showing up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What I think I appreciate about this is that, like, Peter is dealing with the ramification of everything still.
Yeah.
But he's wanting to do good, and he's trying to, like, fight for those he loves. And it's before he, and everything's happened, and I really appreciate that, like, he has his spider sense goes tingling, and he then ends up having to take a moment to like fight this person who obviously knows him. He's like, wait, whoa, and have this like quirky moment, but also for us, see Anthony Molina as Doc Ock and be just same old, like just brutal. And because Doc Ock's just like wonderful freaking villain.
Yeah.
It's a great little sequence. And then him realizing that he's not his Peter. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, I don't know. It's just, it's beautiful. I really enjoy it. It's like the first moment of like the build up, but it's such a strong one.
Yeah.
And I'm just super, super. I love that Peter takes over the arms and is able to control him. Mm-hmm. It's great.
Yeah. I do love Aunt May's death. Mm-hmm. I think like the whole movie just is grounded by that. The whole trilogy is just grounded by that moment. She does that wonderfully. Tom Holland just breaks down, and there's just so much chaos. We've talked about this, and I love that aspect of that moment and just the implications that it has. But there's something, I don't know, there's just something really grounded about the last 7 minutes of this movie when everyone has forgotten who he is. And whether that's him at the cemetery
with Happy,
which, by the way, it's a tradition in Spider-Man movies to always have a funeral scene. Yeah. I feel like in unintentionally. And we haven't had one with Tom Holland, and I just love that we're back in a funeral at the grave. Anyways, but the implications of what that is. And I don't know, for me, there's just something so grounded about Peter Parker just being by himself. It's painful.
It's yes.
It hurts, but there's just so much hope as well. And I don't think many movies end like on a sour note like this. Like your hero, your protagonist has won, but at what cost, right? And seeing him take that sacrifice of saying, I'm just gonna be forgotten. It's okay. I don't know. It's just so hopeful, and it just feels good. And I just him with MJ and Ned not even paying attention to him. Like it's just I love. And then the apartment. And then swinging out.
That is the apartment from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
Nah, I don't know if it is.
But it looks like it, though.
It's New York. All those apartments look the same.
Savage.
We have a New Yorker right now yelling at us. I do love just those last 8 minutes.
It was beautiful.
It's
beautiful.
Yeah.
It's I want more moments of stuff like this where like they didn't win.
Yeah. Yeah. Like real ramifications to your choices, right?
Did you hear that? Real ramifications.
I think that's what makes Infinity War so good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not that I need my villains, not that I need my heroes to lose every time.
I don't think. Look, this is not about losing.
Yeah.
Ramifications could just mean that like they won, but there is that.
There's ramifications. There's consequences.
There's consequences.
Yeah.
You no longer have a city, or you lose individuals that you didn't want to have to lose their lives.
Yeah.
You lost a friend because you made a decision or whatever that is. We're not getting that enough, and I appreciate that they did that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, yeah.
And I appreciate they had consequences in every single one of these films.
Yeah.
And I think that listen, it sucks because then you look at all the Sony can't do it by themselves. Like
they can't.
And so you look at this how is this continuing to work, right? It's because I don't know. People understand what they want. What is it that they need to do with this character? Even Marvel at its whole, that's there. And I think that in general, we just need to it's okay to not have a win. I recently finished or watched Where the Crawdads Sing with the girl from Twister. Daisy Jones.
Daisy Jones.
Beautiful film.
It's a wonderful film.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful film. I loved it, and that's another one that you ask yourself that has a lot of heart, but there's, all of it's just, I don't know, just beautiful. It's just great, and I think I have that. It's okay to have a moment of like, because it could also be that like it's us on screen or as an audience has to feel the consequence. Live with the consequence of what this character has done or whatever.
Yeah, but more important, and we say this all the time, like let us feel, right? And those last 7-10 minutes of the movie allow us to do that. Mm-hmm. You're not waiting for the next movie you're not waiting for the next movie to allow us to feel that. You're letting us do it now, and I think that's just crucial.
Crucial.
What a great movie. What a great trilogy.
What a great trilogy. And little rocky, not necessarily terribly, but just what they produced here.
Under the circumstances,
in a lot
product of its time.
I'm super excited to see what happens with this next stuff. Cannot come soon enough. And honestly, Spider-Man.
I love that in the last couple of weeks we got so many, on-set shots, and we got the official
costume
release, right? I'm excited for Tom Holland to come back to the role. We took way too long to get
too long.
I feel like I've been complaining about getting a sequel for Batman, Robert Pattinson's Batman, and I haven't complained about this. It's going to be just as long.
Yeah.
Ish. No, Batman's going to take longer to come out.
Well, yes.
But yeah, I love this franchise, and I'm excited. I think they've got a great director with Daniel Cretton, the guy who directed also Shang-Chi. So yeah, I'm excited.
Thank you guys so much for listening to this long episode. We really do appreciate it. If you did like listening to this episode, let us know your thoughts in the comments and in a review on wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, and again, let us know. What's your favorite cameo? What did you enjoy? What did we miss? You can always connect with us through our newsletter at realchums.com/newsletter, or connect with me, Marcel, on Instagram and Threads at Marstrosity, MARZTROSITY. You
can find me at rubio.tv. And remember, if you enjoy what we do and want to support us, head over to youtube.com/@realchums, where you can subscribe for free. Join us next week as we revisit Source Code starring Jake Gyllenhaal. You guys voted for this one, so check out our thoughts next week.